What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel. So this video right here got recommended to me, the red pill way to learn Japanese. Now, I'm always a little bit cautious when someone tells me I gotta start popping some pills to learn a language. Usually they're kind of politically vibed, these pill type videos, but you never know. So Elmo's over there pumping the weights. Let's do this.
If you're learning Japanese, just stop for a second. Watch this video first. Because what I'm about to show you will completely change how you see Japanese language. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Right now, so many people, including you, are learning Japanese. And 99% of them are taking the exact same approach. Like textbooks, language schools, AI, apps, textbook-oriented teachers, they are all teaching you formal Japanese first. But someone who has lived in Japanese language in their whole life, let me tell you, this is blue pill. It's wasting your time. It's
So is he Japanese? Oh, I thought he was like someone who learned Japanese.
messing up your foundation, and it's training you to speak like an NPC, not a human. And you probably feel it already. You study Japanese, you put in the time, you know some grammar, vocabulary, but when you get into a real situation with Japanese people, like especially casual settings, like when you're just trying to make friends, trying to flirt, just trying to vibe, something feels off. It feels like there's always an invisible wall between you and the Japanese people. And no matter how much you study, there's always this invisible wall. You can feel it, but you just don't know why it never goes down. Let me tell you.
Do you feel it, guys? Do you feel the invisible wall between you and the Japanese? Have you tried getting closer?
That's not you problem. That's the cost you pay when you take this blue pill. But there's a red pill you can take. The one that keeps you away from all of
Oh yeah, love a good pill. Come on, let's start popping some while we're language learning.
this. And this red pill saves so much of your time. It gives you the foundation of Japanese. And it makes your Japanese so natural that
Bro, I'm sold. I'm sold. Give me the red pill. Why would I take the blue pill when the red pill's got so many good qualities to it? Like, clearly, fuck the blue pill.
you can speak formal and casual Japanese like a human. And one day you're sitting at a izakaya with your Japanese friends, making jokes, laughing together, and everything just flows. So in this video, I break down exactly what the blue pill and the red pill is, and what happens when you take each one. So by the end of
I don't know if it's just me, but have you guys ever considered mixing the pills? You know, just grab the two pills, smash them down. Both pills at once, you know? Who knows what might happen? You're gonna get like everything. You're gonna be like fucking godlike.
exactly which one to take. I'm pretty sure you already know which one you want to take, but you will know it.
Yeah, take both pills. Don't be a cretin and be like, oh, I'm gonna be the blue pill or I'm gonna be the red pill. Nah, bro. Both pills. All the pills. Your mum's pills. God, what is this video leading to?
Exactly which one is the right one to take, whether you're just starting out or you've already started learning Japanese. All the things that you've experienced before is finally going to make sense. So first, let's talk about the blue pill, the most common way to learn Japanese. 99% of learners only learn formal Japanese with casual Japanese as an afterthought, if they ever get into it at all. And this is the blue pill. It's costing you, not just your time, it's making people miserable. Some people end up hating Japan entirely, leaving Japan, making TikToks about how lonely Japan is. Oh, this is the reason why I'm leaving Japan. I can't live in Japan anymore. Like it's making my life miserable. It's just not for me anymore. But they don't even know why they're experiencing Japan that way. But it's whether they never tried to learn Japanese.
I was literally just checking the time. We're 2 minutes and 41 seconds in and all we've discussed is pills so far.
Or they're taking this blue pill. So firstly, when you take this blue pill, you're missing the foundation. Most people misunderstand what casual Japanese actually is. Casual Japanese isn't just a relaxed way of speaking. It's the foundation of the entire Japanese language. But Japanese textbook teachers, language schools, never teach you casual Japanese first. In Japanese, casual Japanese is called Joyogo, which is the standard form, the base, the root everything else grows from. But the textbooks, language schools, apps, teachers never teach you casual Japanese.
Okay, so what he's saying then, now that we've finally got some content, is that there is a way that people actually speak and then there's a way the textbooks write. If you're a Japanese learner, let me know down in the comments section. Like, I'm just thinking about other languages. So Mandarin Chinese, we don't really have this issue. In Mandarin Chinese, don't have this issue in Esperanto, don't have this issue in Spanish. But is this true? Is the casual, because I do know that there's politeness levels, but like, do the textbooks not deal with casual language? It kind of reminds me of that conversation that we were having recently about Thai because Stuart, who's another creator, I'll put a link over here for him, he's been covering off on different people learning Thai and the methods around that, and how with Thai that there is like a formalized pronunciation which all the textbooks and, well, I guess like teachers and stuff seem to use, but it's not how Thais actually speak.
Or even if they do, they teach you casual Japanese later, after formal Japanese. When we go back in history like Murasaki Shikibu, the tale of Genji, and the language being used there is the form of Joyogo, which is Tameguchi in the modern world. And then in the Meiji, which is 1800s, Japan was modernizing rapidly. And from the process, the Keigo system as we know it today was created and layered on top of casual Japanese. And historians have documented this. There's literally no formal study of Keigo in Japan until the Meiji period. So the modern Keigo was essentially standardized in the 1800s as part of the national language project. Now I've been telling people casual Japanese is the foundation of the entire Japanese language, but I still get some comments like, oh, but you need to learn the proper language first and then you can finally start speaking casual Japanese. Bro, casual Japanese is the foundation of the entire Japanese. The history has already proved it. There's already a history.
So basically, he wants you to focus on learning what the people speak. I guess this is kind of a similar conversation around like Arabic and how you see people that say, oh, you must learn, you know, MSA, this standard Arabic, and then learn a dialect. But I'm assuming this is nowhere near to the extreme of what Arabic is.
History behind it. So me saying casual Japanese is the foundation of the entire Japanese, it's not my opinion, it's history. Casual Japanese was always there long before formal Japanese. So casual Japanese is the original, it's the foundation. And the formal Japanese was built on top of it later. Formal Japanese is derived from casual Japanese, not the other way around. Now let me show you exactly what I mean. Let's take the verb iku. Iku is the joyogo, the plain form, the form that has always existed even before formal Japanese formal form was created. And when we made a formal language, we took this form, changed the last sound from ku to ki, and added mas at the end. So iku becomes ikimasu. It's not ikimasu becomes iku. Iku becomes ikimasu. So that's what I mean. That's the derivation. And here's what makes this powerful. There are rules to this. Japanese verbs fall into three categories, which is u verb, root verb, and irregular verb. And once you know the patterns, once you memorize conjugation rules, you can make any verb into any form you want. Formal form, test form, progressive form, past tense, negative form, whatever you want.
I actually didn't even know Japanese conjugated. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, because I did learn Japanese in high school, but it was, you know, 1 hour a week, and the teachers didn't speak Japanese really. It was just textbooks. So like I remember literally nothing, just some hiragana. I remember how to count and maybe like some random words here and there, but like I don't remember us ever learning anything about conjugation. That just shows how far 4 years of school got me in Japanese. That was a shit 4 years. Maybe I did learn it though. Well, maybe the teachers taught it and I just didn't pay attention because I was too busy like picking my nose or something.
All of it. So you don't have to memorize each form word by word. You learn the root, which is plain casual form, and the rules unlock everything else. But when you take the blue pill, which is to learn formal Japanese first, you skip this completely. You learn ikimasu as it is without understanding iku, the plain form. You're basically memorizing the conjugated form without even knowing the root. So every new verb you learn, you have to memorize every single form separately, one by one. It takes forever, right?
Okay, this kind of makes sense, what he's saying right now. I don't know why we need to introduce pills into this, but like this makes sense. If there is some type of root that exists, you should be learning that first. Do textbooks really not teach that way in Japanese?
So that's why blue pill approach, learning formal Japanese first, is taking more of your time. It's a longer and harder route that gives you the most work for the least results. And I already told you that this blue pill approach is making people miserable. And here's why. They're training you to be an NPC. Formal Japanese is the language we use with bosses, older people, strangers, customers, teachers.
I'm kind of curious about this whole NPC, blue pill, red pill, because I know where this is coming from. This is coming from the manosphere, basically, and then also from the political sphere, because like they talk about pills over in politics all the time, but also in manosphere they talk about pills, and like this is now leaking into languages. But is this because it like caters to a specific generation? Like, is this like a Gen Z thing where they just talk about pills? Like, I have no idea. Like, I understand kind of what's going on here. It's like, it's just a way of saying, oh, this is the traditional way and this is now the new way or the proper way or the way that's been hidden from us all this time. Obviously, the whole pill thing's just kind of like a way to, you know, point at that. This is what they said, but this is what you should do. But is this something that the new generation speaks in? I don't know.
First, people above in the hierarchy. But do you notice who we left out? How about friends, partners, family, the most important people in your life? Think about it honestly. Without people who you can fully share your experience with, the people who you can relax around, make jokes with, maybe flirt with, no matter how rich you are, no matter how successful you are, no matter how handsome you are, you always feel empty, miserable, lonely. We all
Wait, what? How did we just go from languages to that? I gotta rehear that section. I don't know what's going on there.
people in your life. Think about it honestly. Without people who you can fully share your experience with, the people who you can relax around, make jokes with, maybe flirt with, no matter how rich you are, no matter how successful you are, no matter how handsome you are, you always feel empty, miserable, lonely. We all know this. So what language Japanese people use with these people? It's not formal Japanese. It's casual Japanese, the standard language, the plain language.
Yeah, okay, so it's the language that you speak with people who are your peers. Like, okay, I get it. Like, people who are peers and close.
Tamiguchi. And here's what makes this worse than just missing out vocabulary. When you speak formal Japanese to a Japanese person in a casual setting, you're not just sounding stiff. You're not just being polite. You're sending a signal. You're literally telling them, don't get too close to me. We are not that close. I'm trying to...
That's a kind of interesting observation. It will be interesting to learn a language that deals with politeness, because I know Korean does it. Like, Chinese has some remnants of it left over. Just tiny, tiny little remnants, okay? So, like, you know, you'll say ni, which is you, but then you got nin, which is like you, but it's a bit more formal, and it's usually used for people who are older than you. But, like, that's literally it. There's barely anything else left.
advanced level, like really good, the signal becomes so obvious. Because Japanese people have grown up in this culture in their entire lives. Their brain has already built a cognitive script. Formal Japanese equals distance, hierarchy,
This actually makes sense in a lot of ways. Like, an interesting thing I've noticed in my own life, for example, with Chinese, my wife, when she speaks English, for the first 10 years, like, this was difficult for her to learn, but she wouldn't use the word please. And I understood it. Like, I understood, this is because, like, in Chinese, they use the word please a lot less. They just give orders, okay? But when you don't use these type of please or could you, these types of constructions as much in English, it can become demanding and almost insulting. And, like, I knew that wasn't the intention. But even knowing it's not the intention, you would still feel it. And so I'd stop her and I'd be like, babe, you got to use please, or you got to use could you, like, these types of structures. Like, I understand it realistically adds nothing, but it adds a feeling, and that feeling is you're demanding. It's an insult, and it was pretty hard for her to wrap her head around it. She's managed to get a lot better at it over like the last 5 years or so, and it's very rarely I have to point that out. But still, I can see how, like, just that slight difference that makes a big difference in English. And here, if you've got a whole different register for, you know, formality and stuff, it's obvious that people are going to, if you speak to them in a certain way, even if it's not your intention, they're going to treat you in a certain way.
So the moment someone speaks formal Japanese to them in a casual setting, the invisible wall goes up automatically. Not because they wanted to.
But I guess the question is, though, do the textbooks not deal with the casual language? Because that was the whole premise of this pill thing.
But because their brain has been wired that way since the childhood. So no matter how long you speak to them, as long as you are speaking only formal Japanese to them, they can never fully open up to you. The relationship never gets past the surface level. It will never feel like a real friendship. And some Japanese people even get depressed from speaking formal Japanese for too long. Because it's simply exhausting. It always feels like you have to act in a certain way. You have to be polite. You have to wear this like a polite mask to survive in the social hierarchy. Like, you can never fully be yourself. That's what it feels like to speak formal Japanese for too long. So when you only speak formal Japanese, you never have the skill to connect with Japanese people on a human level. Ever. So this is what happens when you take the blue pill. 1, you miss the foundation, which means it takes longer to become fluent. More time wasted, more effort for less result. And 2, you never get to learn the language that you need to speak to the people who matter to you the most, like friends, girlfriend, boyfriends, family, the close people. So you end up becoming a polite NPC. You can work in Japan, you can maybe go to school, you can ask for directions, you can say you need a bag at the convenience store. But because you don't know the language you need to make friends, to make girlfriend, boyfriend, you always feel lonely. Japanese people treat you
Making girlfriend, boyfriend's not such an issue for me. But I can understand where he's coming from here.
politely, but never open up. You never feel like yourself. And I believe this is the reason why some people say, well, Japanese people are weird. They're scary. They seem fake. But the reason why they say that is because they don't know how to unlock the real side of Japanese people. And some people, after years of this, they give up. They leave Japan, they make videos saying, Japan is such a lonely country. You always eat alone. Bro, don't give a misinformation, bro. It's not Japan is lonely. The blue pill is. So now let me show what the red pill looks like, which I genuinely believe this is the best way to learn Japanese, even though most teachers never talk about this. The red pill approach is very simple. Learn casual Japanese first. That's it. I see you in the next one. Let's get it. Just kidding, I show you how step by step. But before I do that, let me show you all the benefits of taking this red pill. Because once you see what this path can actually give you, you never want to go back. So the first benefit is that you learn formal Japanese way faster. Do you remember what I showed you? Iku is the root, and ikimasu is derived from it. And when you learn the praying form first and memorize the conjugation patterns, you don't have to memorize every single form of every single word separately. All you have to do is
You know, the funny thing is, when I first started watching this video and he kept talking about pills for like a minute or so, I was like, man, this is going to be the biggest grifter video ever. Like, that was my initial thoughts. Because, like, usually when people talking about pills, that's what's happening. But it seems like he's dropping some actual interesting information. Like, I don't know if this is like standard, every learner knows about this stuff, but to me, doing research into the language at the moment, this makes sense, obviously, but also it's actually providing me with value.
just to learn one word and know the rules, you can instantly make formal form, negative form, te form, past tense, progressive form, any forms, all of it, from just learning one word. Now it's like English, we know how to say I can't, I don't, I'm not going to, I don't want to, I'm not supposed to. Like, when we know these patterns, we can take any verbs we want to say what we want using these different forms, these different expressions, right? So it's the same thing. And learning Japanese like this isn't just faster, it's a completely different experience. Instead of memorizing an endless list of forms one by one, you understand the system. And once you understand the system, every word you learn multiplies. So while blue pill learners spend years memorizing, red pill learners use the exact same time for actually speaking.
I'm actually still most interested about the fact that Japanese has a conjugation system. I'm just used to like most of the languages in this region of the world not. Or maybe that's completely wrong. I'm just making assumptions based on, you know, Chinese. Now, I kind of find this fascinating. Does their conjugation system work vastly different to, say, English, Esperanto, or Latin? Like, does it have a case system? Like, I know I can go to Gemini and answer these questions right away, but I like reading your comments. These are the things that interest me.
And the second benefit of taking the red pill approach is that you can speak like a human from day one. Blue pill learners spend years before they can speak to Japanese people like a real human, like a real friend. But when you take the red pill, you get to do this from the very beginning. Because you learn casual Japanese first, you gain the language, you gain the skill that you can use to make friends, to make girlfriend, boyfriend, to flirt. Because you learn casual Japanese from the beginning, you will speak casual Japanese from the beginning. You don't have to sound stiff like a textbook, you don't have to sound stiff like those Japanese teachers on YouTube from the early stage.
And what would happen if I use casual Japanese in the wrong setting, like at a workplace? Would people like actually get annoyed? Or would they just look at you like foreigner doesn't know what he's on about?
You can vibe with the people, you can talk to whoever you want and actually feel close to them without feeling this invisible wall. You know how good life feels, you can just be yourself around people. No filter, no performance, just connection. That's what the red pill gives you. And because of that, you love Japan even more. Because you're enjoying the experience in Japan. You're enjoying the experience of speaking Japanese. Because you feel fulfilled, you stay motivated. And you'll be more likely to keep learning Japanese so you make consistent progress. And there's another big benefit, which is you understand anime, movie, dramas way faster. Many of the language being used in real Japanese contents is casual Japanese. So when you learn casual Japanese first, you're learning the language that Japanese people, native Japanese people are actually speaking. You understand what's happening in those contents, you feel emotion behind the words way faster than 99% of Japanese learners. Doesn't this path sound more exciting than the blue pill? But it's not just exciting, but it's actually better. It's better for your foundation and better for your happiness in Japan. So now
Okay, so the pills wasn't really necessary here. Like, I guess it's just to pull in a certain type of audience, but I understand. Basically, the emphasis is just do casual, forget about the other registers, come back to them later, and the fact that you do casual first will help you with those other registers.
now I'm gonna show you how to learn Japanese the red pill way, step by step. Step 1. Learn the playing form and the categories. Japanese words fall into categories. For verbs, there is root verbs, oop verbs, irregular verbs. For adjectives, there is e-adjective and adjectives. You don't need to memorize everything perfectly, just roughly understand which category a word belongs to when you learn it. So let's say you're learning this word, taberu, and once you get this plain form, just ask ChatGPT or just Google it, which category this verb fit into. By the way, this is root verb. And this video will be extremely long if I explain all of this. But what I recommend is to learn verbs or words in category. So you separate your learning times into blocks. So this time I learned the most frequent u verbs, and this time I will learn most frequent lu verbs.
That's actually a pretty good idea, because then you don't have to put too much mental load on however that category is constructed. I'm assuming there's an ending that's being used here on each of the verbs. So you just focus on the words and then practicing them with the correct ending. But if you try to mix and match at the same time, you'll easily add the wrong ending to the wrong verb. So like, if you can time separate that, that's a good idea. It'd be like when you're learning Spanish. Don't try to learn all the verb endings with R and then all the ear and then all the all these ones all at the same time. Just pick one, focus on it. And don't even pick on multiple tenses of the same one. Just pick on multiple, first, second, third person, that. And then on another day, do that in past tense. And then that, in future tense. If you were doing a formal way of studying. Obviously, I'm not.
Tell ChatGPT to give you those words. And great thing is that if you're using Claude will make flashcards for you. I'm honestly very fascinated by this technology. My girlfriend is Swedish, she's learning Japanese. So I gave her the flashcards of hiragana. It really made a cool flashcard with the check mark and the cross mark. So you will know how many words you got right, how many words you got wrong. So use it.
I'm actually curious if it generates those flashcards, because it looked like it was literally playing a game right then. Is it making mistakes and giving the wrong romanization to a character? Or what do you call it in Japanese? Symbol? I don't know.
Step 2, memorize conjugation rules. Once you know the categories, memorize the patterns. Test form, progressive form, negative form, past tense, because there are rules for each one. So you learn the rules once and they apply to any word forever. I'm currently building a complete grammar course for absolute beginners inside Nihongo Rapid Dojo. So if you ever wondered what level you need to be at to get the most out of my community, the answer is any level. You can be a complete beginner.
Okay, so the rest of this looks like it's gonna be for his product. Here we go. Yeah, we're getting stuff. I'll give him a little bit because I did react to his video, but his video will be linked down in the description if you want to go check it out and check out his community.
And still make a massive progress. So check the link in the description if you want the early access. And step 3, learn to drop words. In casual Japanese or even formal Japanese, we drop subjects, we drop particles, we drop words that are obvious from the context. And this is one of the biggest reasons why native Japanese speakers sound so different from textbook Japanese. And Japanese.
I think that happens in most languages though. Like, in most languages, you learn the formal structure, like how it would be written. But then when you actually learn to speak it, parts are dropped all the time. Like in Chinese, pronouns are dropped all the time. Okay? Even like positional markers sometimes are dropped because it's just obvious from context. But if you were to write it out, you would put it in full type of thing. Like in Spanish, I wouldn't say it's like in Spanish, pronouns are kind of just dropped by default. So I wouldn't say that's like even in writing, so that doesn't count. Esperanto doesn't have that, but like in Chinese, it happens quite a bit.
Learners keep saying things that are technically correct, but nobody actually says. So learning when and how to drop words is essential to sounding like a human in Japanese. And step 4, learn ending particles. Ending particles don't always change the meaning of what you're saying, but they completely change the feeling, the nuance, the emotion behind the words. They're what make your Japanese sound human instead of robotic.
I find particles to be one of the hardest aspects of a language, because in English, how we do this is usually done through the tone of our voice or through very specific sentence structures. Like we literally modified the entire sentence to give that like emotion or feeling. But in Chinese, for example, because they have this as well, you don't change the whole sentence structure. You just swap out the particle at the end and that gives a different feeling. And it's kind of hard to wrap your brain around using those like naturally. I've kind of got some of them down, but there's so many of them, and they actually also vary based on region. So like some areas will use them more and use certain ones more, and then other areas will use different ones. It's one of those very fuzzy areas of a language.
So without using any particles, you're just making an announcement. But with them, you're actually communicating, having a conversation with another human being. And step 5, add personality. masculine speech patterns, feminine speech patterns, native expressions, the words and the phrases that give your Japanese a personality. And if you want a shortcut on all of this, the conjugation rules, the ending particles, when to and how to drop words, the masculine speech patterns, native expressions, and how to actually apply them to your Japanese, I teach all of it in detail inside Nihongo Reveal Dojo. If you want
Okay, cool. So if you want to go check out that community, go check out his video. Overall, I'd say it was a good video, but by God, 18 minutes technically. 16 minutes, like all of this could be compressed down into like a 6-minute video. It really just boils down to two things. Focus on casual first, and then from the casual, you can build out the others, and then like worry about contractions and then particles, these types of things first before going the textbook approach. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this matter down in the comments section, especially if you've learned Japanese to a high level. Do you agree, disagree? Because I am doing research for no particular reason, just, researching. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you all next video. If you're not there, I will find you, and I will tell you in many, many different ways the exact same thing, but the particle will indicate your destiny.